record.
The earrings. Countdown.
Countdown now. All right. Okay. Going live now. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. How you all doing?
Good evening, everyone, and
Hello.
welcome to another night of wonderful conversation about business and our direction. Tonight, we have with us Miss Sharon Gordon of SG Webcraft Limited, and we're going to be talking about her business and her journey.
Yes,
so we hope
indeed.
that it helps you to identify the area of which you want to complete in your life. So, Sharon.
Hey, Sharon.
Welcome.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Everything okay?
Yes, everything is good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Lovely to have you on today with us.
It's my pleasure.
As I like to call them, your gems. So everybody do have your notebook and pad ready, because Sharon will be sharing things with you that you perhaps might not have thought about, and you just need to. Okay.
You do.
Absolutely. Now, I will start off, Sharon, because when I read your resume, it's like, okay, you're going to have to take time on this one now because, you know, really good. I mean, you are a professional accredited IT trainer, director of your own company. And one of the things that I picked up on was that you implement substantial change, yeah, which within itself change within organizations and infrastructure. That within itself is a very difficult area and a very specific area. So, you know, we'll talk about that later.
Yes, please.
Yeah. But first,
Be gentle with me. Just.
Don't worry. It's all about education and working together. So,
absolutely.
At first, can we ask about you?
And how you started, what is your background?
Oh, wow. Okay, so my name's Sharon, Sharon Gordon, and I started out as a secretary for a bank, Citibank actually, when I was 17, because my mum said to be a hairdresser wasn't really the thing. I needed to go and learn to type and get a proper job. Hairdressing was a proper job.
Yeah,
apparently.
Nothing wrong with my hair. I think it was quite nice. So I said, okay, mummy, that's what I'll go and do. So I went to college and I studied to be a secretary, and I got my diploma and I got all of my exams. I did shorthand, audio. I did the lot, did everything. I was an obedient child, and that was all good. But it wasn't for me. A few years down the line, I found out that I had a knack for picking up information that people told me. And in a classroom of lots of people, I would always get it first. It's not a big-headed thing. It just clicked with me. So I thought, okay, maybe I need to change tact. So I went to work for Wolf & Forest as an IT lecturer. They wanted someone to teach word processing.
Wow.
And I thought, that'll be me.
Okay.
And the first classes, the first time they did it, and they were doing it on the Amstrad machine.
Oh, wow. Yes, I remember those.
Gosh, am I showing my age?
No, not for all of us.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Okay, so I did that, and I did it at Harrow Green, and Harrow Green Library upstairs, and it took off from there. I stayed at Wolf & Forest as a lecturer, and for about 14 years. And in that time, they put me through my teacher training. So I did my first year teacher training, had a couple of children in between, and then I did my last year teacher training where I got my certificate of education by PGCE. So I did that, and then I thought, okay, I can really go and do this. So I left the secretarial role and I went off and did IT training, applied for my first job at a big law firm, got it, and stayed there for another 13 years.
Right.
And just progressed from there. And then I started my company, SG Webgraph, in about 2009, but I didn't actually do a lot with it. I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew I had to have a company, so I set it up, and it was sitting there on its own for a little bit. And then I thought, let's start it off. So I started creating some websites for some friends, because I enjoyed design, art, etc. And the rest is kind of history. It's brought me to today. So I've dabbled in a few websites, but I am an IT trainer by trade. My 9 to 5 is an IT trainer, and I've done that for well over a lot of years.
Yeah,
a few years.
A lot of years. Yeah.
Can I ask you, going back a bit then, to say, what was the transition? Where did you sort of see? I know you identified you want to make the change.
Yeah.
What happened to make you want to make that change to work for yourself? Because a lot of people are comfortable in the monthly salary, and to a certain degree, we as people who are employed by whoever, we rely upon that, and that also becomes a kind of crutch in our life.
Yeah.
So it's a very big step to take from being monthly to independent.
Yeah, it was, and I completely agree with everything that you said. It was a very big step, and it took me a little while to do it, quite a few years to do so. But I always felt there was more. I always felt what I was doing wasn't it. I'm always doing a course on something. I'm doing a digital marketing course at the moment, just because I had the spare few hours here and there, so I fit it into my schedule. But as a trainer, I think it's my business, and my it's my business to keep my skills up.
Right. Okay.
Updated.
Yeah. But what was the moment that you thought, okay, that's it now? I'm going to go out on my own.
Because you were dabbling for a while, and then you went into it. So
it was actually probably about a couple of years ago. I took the step. I've always wanted to be a contract trainer. As you said, you always work for people, and I was dabbling on the side. And then a couple of years ago, I thought, you know what, I'm getting only a tiny bit older, but I felt I needed to do something and give something back and do something for somebody else. Little as my head is, there's a lot of information in here, and I felt like it was just getting all fuzzy, and I wanted to share. So I began. I left my job, my full-time job, became a contract trainer, and the Lord has blessed me that I have not looked back since, and I've never not worked since then.
Excellent. Wow. Well done. Wow. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. And it's just gone on, and every time I've had a contract role, if they've not extended it, then I've gone on into another role immediately. I sometimes don't have a break, which is not good. The whole point of contracting, I thought, was I could work as long as I wanted to, stop when I wanted to, and then come back. But they wouldn't let that happen.
Well, that's cool success.
But that's it, exactly. Sharon, can I just ask that? So, what is your specialist area in terms of IT? What software do you work?
The software, if you look at my CV, it's probably about 2 pages of software, because as I said, I'm always looking at software. I'm always wanting to know, what does that do? Why does that do that? Or I wonder if I could use that. So there's a lot of software. So we're talking all of the Microsoft Office suite. So, your Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Publisher, did Access at one point, OneNote, Outlook, the whole suite.
The whole shebang, really.
The whole shebang, And being, as I work for law firms a lot, they wanted some other things. So they wanted Skype, they wanted OneDrive, and you'd be surprised. So we've all got a web address, an email. We also probably all have a OneDrive up there. That we probably may not use. And not aware of it.
Can you business, you see, for business, can you explain what is a OneDrive? Because there are some of us who have no idea, although I use it now. But some of us have no idea.
Okay.
So
OneDrive, it's a cloud application up in the cloud. There's a little piece of space up there for you, personal space, where you can save anything, everything, pictures, documents, PDFs, Word files, anything you want, which means that you can access it from anywhere that you are. It's not on your laptop, it's not on your PC, it's not on your phone. However, you can access it from your phone, your tablet, your mobile device, anywhere in the world.
Okay, so in essence then, to certain people who live on their phones for everything that they got, there is something in the cloud that you can store it, access it anywhere that you want to. So that means that you don't need to use your phone. You can go, let's just say, for instance, into a public library, and you can access your OneDrive from there once you have your code.
Your email, yeah,
so
it's attached to your email. So, for example, I've got a Hotmail account. When I log into that and it says, do I want to save something? It will offer me options as to where I want to save this.
Okay.
And invariably, it's going to offer me my OneDrive.
Right.
I've got a Gmail account. That again, I've got a OneDrive for that. But it does mean that for every email that you will have a different OneDrive.
Right.
You can put things where you want them to go. When you've got one or two OneDrive, you can select to say, well, I want it all to go to this one. I want to save it there. But yeah, it's attached to your email. So as long as you can log into your email address, you will get access to your OneDrive.
So may I ask then, is that email address, does it have to be specifically Google? I mean, can it be another company? I'm not going to publicize.
Oh, really? So it can be whichever you've got.
Yeah, I've got a Hotmail, so Outlook.com one. I've got a Gmail one. You've got also for businesses, they have OneDrive for Business, and that basically means that the whole company has access, however many people they have in the firm, they have access to their own little piece of OneDrive, but they have a larger bit of space than sorry, there's a little fly trying to attack me here. Sorry, but they have a larger area than an individual would have.
And is it all secure? Is it secure as well?
Yes, as far as I'm aware, businesses. It took a long time for law firms to use it, but they love it. Yeah, it's the best thing.
Right.
It's useful if your system goes down or you can't access documents on your system, if you know on your on their servers. What do you do?
Right.
OneDrive.
Okay. So
brilliant.
So we can recommend that people start looking at their emails and looking at their OneDrive to actually access their information.
Or store information.
Yeah, store information.
Or store information. Yeah, it pops up for you. It's like a blue cloud.
Right.
A blue and white cloud. It will look like that. They're slightly different, but if it says the name OneDrive or Drive, that's it.
Okay.
Invariably, that's for you.
Can I then ask you, because I'm always thinking as an entrepreneur, have you got the ability to train people to use OneDrive for their businesses, just so that Yeah. Okay.
I've done that for the firms that I've worked for, because you'll be surprised how many people aren't aware of how to use it. So there are still a lot of law firms, I suspect, that I might have to go into and explain what OneDrive is for them.
Hence why you're on today, because I can imagine there's be quite a few businesses out there that are not aware of what they should be looking at in terms of their IT and their infrastructure.
Okay.
And they can store information.
Yeah, and they've already got it, and they're going to pay for, one of those drives that you buy in our local shops, with 2 gigabytes or whatever. And at the end of the day, you have it already.
Yeah.
But because you don't know, you're paying for this thing for £100 and enough pounds. And end of the day, you've already got it. And if you do a business one, you'll have even more access. It might cost you a bit, but it's a lot cheaper in the long run.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to Office 365, which is itself a cloud-based application, so again, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, is all of your documents are saved up in the cloud. You have a OneDrive on there.
Right. Okay.
So again.
So people, we need to be aware of that and take note. And if you do need training, that's the person there.
Yeah.
So
and also for your business as well, for your your staff members.
Yeah.
Even though you think to yourself, oh, actually, I don't need this now, or you will need it, even if it's you on your own at the moment, or you've got one member of staff. Your infrastructure, how you are dealing with business, where you're storing information. You need that, Sharon.
But that's the bigger part of it. I think the smaller picture is that how how do I start my document? You know, how do I group them together?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
do I create sub-files, subfolders? How do I structure that? That's also something that with law firms that I've had to take into account, because they have to, you have to specific structure. If you're looking something for a client and you can't find it, the client's not going to be happy and they're probably not going to pay you. So if you need to find something quick, your structure is very important. How you save your files, where you save them, how you name them, have a naming convention. Don't just call it Hughes doc from yesterday.
Exactly. That could be anything.
I'm gonna have to take that one out, actually.
You're speaking to the.
It just doesn't.
Exactly,
It just doesn't work. You need to have some structure, and once you've got it in place, it's then easy to follow, and you can find stuff, and you let your staff members know that this is what our naming convention is. If everybody sticks to it, if Joe Bloggs and Sally and Alice are out of the office at any given time, and Fred needs to find something and he can't get hold of them, he will find it because everyone follows that naming convention.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, even with small businesses, that whether it's you on your own or whether it's as long as you start getting into the habit of
it is a good habit to get into.
You're standardizing the organization by what you're actually doing.
Yeah, because when you send those, I mean, I keep referencing law firms, but they are the ones who are very, very specific about naming conventions in their documents. However, it's something I've taken away for my personal self, because when you're saving your files, whatever it may be, and you do need to find it at a later stage, it's so much easier to find stuff. So much easier.
Can you give us an example of a naming convention, like, you know, just because I know what you're talking about, but right at this moment, I'm thinking generalization. Yes. Okay. So for me, I need a specific kind of, give me a name of a file that you put this in.
Okay, so well, for me, if I showed you my file explorer, it would probably be about this long, and it's just me on my own, basically. But I have a folder for my own personal bits of information. Within that, I've got subfolders for the different areas. It could be health, it could be you know, teaching, it could be blah. Then I have a file structure for my company, so it's SG Webcraft. Within that, I've got subfolders for all the clients that I deal with, whether it's for training or website design. They have their own subfolders. Within that, I've also got subfolders for photos that I use on their site, documents that we've saved there. They're not all just mashed into the same place. Documents, Word documents, Excel are in one place, PowerPoint is in one place. Your photos, etc., are in another place. If I have a logo or something like that, it's all structured. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
Okay, understood.
Right. So you said legal firms. Okay, so coming a little bit back now. So in terms of the legal side, I know you're just trying to skip past that bit, but I'm not going to let you. So in terms of the legal firms that you've worked for, what was your role there? What was it, just as an IT trainer, or were you involved in other things?
No, I started as a legal secretary. I mostly work for senior partners in the department. So family division, so divorces, child abuse cases, that kind of thing. So I got involved with that kind of side of it, which I always found very interesting. It's quite heart-wrenching sometimes to hear of the things that go on, really, with children and that. And then, then I went into IT training. Now, what I found, what made me understand the role of a lawyer and the role of a secretary and how different they can be, is that I was a secretary. I learned to understand the lingo. I understood what the words meant. I made sure that I did. So when a lawyer dictated something to me and I had to write it up, I could correct it for him, and because of the level that I was at, he or she, who depending on who I was working for, allowed me to do that because they knew that my grammar and my diction was on point. I don't do things by half. So I was taking it all in. I've never studied to be a lawyer, but I understand some certain aspects of the law because I was involved in it to to such an extent, and I made myself understand it, because then I had empathy with the clients, and I could talk to my you know, my senior partner and such about that sort of thing.
Right. Well,
that's brilliant.
You created bespoke projects. What is that?
There are some firms that have specific requirements for their training. It's out of the box Word, yeah, you can do that. Or out of the box Excel, yes. However, when someone asks for, they've got a specific application that has been made for them, they need someone to train on that. So, so I'm just going to turn my little fan on here, getting kind of warm. So, for example, there at the moment I'm working for a company, a finance company, who have a new HR system. It's HR, their finance system, and something else, time recording. So it's basically, you go in, I suppose most firms have it, you go into the system, you've got to book holiday for yourself. They're upgrading that system, and it is a big change for a lot of people. We actually started training people today on the application, but it has been, I've been on the project since March, so I've had to learn the product inside out, write the course material for it, write the courses, create the scripts, create the PowerPoint presentations, create the videos, and all of that. Myself and colleagues, we were doing that, so we shared it between ourselves. So we've done that. Yeah, I mean, the actual application, it actually rolls out on the 10th of August. So what the strategy was, what my manager, who is she's a change manager herself, is that we need to train people 2 weeks before they go live and 2 weeks after. For those who can't get in on the training before, we get the eager ones who want to come on it now, because I want to see what, as soon as it lands on their desk on the 10th of August, they're on it. And there are the others like, that can't be, I don't want it, I don't like change, I can wait until the end. So we've got a 4-week training schedule, which started today.
Right. So
that is quite extensive.
That is extensive. And I'm going to ask you, have you, because of what you've just spoken about there, have you integrated that into your overall, when you are training, do you integrate those sort of actions to specifically help people in their training?
What I do for my personal, in my company,
yeah,
or what I do, it's kind of the structure of a trainer, a training consultant. You kind of have to keep some structure.
So you are an professional accredited IT trainer.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So what does that mean compared to me? I'm going to teach you how to use Word.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Come on. Right. So basically, what that means, I've had some formal training to do what I do. It involved going on, when I did it, it was a 5-day course in Coventry at a training centre at a company there who specifically did training for new trainers, to show you how to train correctly in the classroom, what you should say, what you shouldn't say, what you should do with your hands, how you should stand, everything, absolutely everything. Course material, what you could design as course material. It's not always just slap together a PowerPoint, throw it on the screen and it'll work. No, you know, think about your learners. 5 people in a room, they'll all learn in 5 different ways. We had to learn and be aware of that. A lot of people are, there are some people who like to read information, give them a piece of paper, they're good to go, see you later. There are people who want hands-on, they've got to get their hands on and do it. That's me, I like to be doing. There are other people who like a mix of both. And then there are those who are not sure what they want, so you give them both.
Okay, all right, okay. So now, one of the things that you did state within your CV was that you actually have started something in terms of mentoring young people.
Yeah, that's something that's always been close to my heart and something that I've wanted to do for ages. But I've never found the right person who had the enthusiasm that I did for it until recently.
Right.
And I found a young man who was as enthusiastic as I was, and who wanted to do what I do. So I said, okay.
And I'll allow you to continue on that. So we're talking about you are training him as you. So like you're training him to become a trainer.
Yes, I'm training to become an IT trainer. However, it doesn't have to stop there, because if you've got some basic IT training skills that will take you anywhere in IT. One of the weird things that I came up against was not only was I an IT trainer, but I had the opportunity in a lot of my roles to sit on an IT service desk,
right,
and take calls from disgruntled users because something wasn't working, etc. So I learned that as well, because I thought for me it was important that I understood. I'm training these people. If I don't know what's going on with their system, why it's going wrong. Yeah. So in order for me to help them, I need to learn what help they're being given. And so that fed back into the training I was given. So the next time I ran a course about Word and someone said, my document's corrupted, what do I do? I'd written a course to say, okay, this is what you would do. Even with something as simple as this company or this person sent me a Word document, I want to edit it, but I can't work out what they've done. I can show you. There's ways that you can look and find out what they've done. You can even find out who was the author of a document. And people don't know that every time you create a document, the name of the author, whoever it is who's logged onto it, goes in that system. So if you copy a document and claim it to be yours, we can discover that it probably wasn't created by you.
Excuse me, I gotta go. Bye.
And that is very important. I think a lot of people do take for granted. Yes, I know how to use a computer. Yes, I know how to use Word. Yes, that's simple. You just go on. But if you're running a business and you want to effectively for your business, you need to know these different softwares and have the training and how to use them effectively.
Absolutely.
With copyright infringements.
Yeah, and things.
So when a company says, "Wait, I wrote that," and you say, "No, this was originally mine," and they go behind, and they find out, and you can actually see that they're written when they did it and on what computer. That's when you're now in trouble with the law.
So
you know what that's called? Just those that everybody knows, metadata.
Metadata,
guys, that's the word, please.
Right, so we have to make sure. Now, here's the thing. In terms of what you're doing, we have to bring it back for people to see how can they utilize that information that you're providing. And I'm looking at the viewpoint that, is there a way that people can actually learn from what you're doing to, one, train other people? Can you provide the kind of support and training to train other people? Two, how do they incorporate what you're teaching or what you're the service you're providing into their business? Yes, so those are the kind of things that I want to know.
Okay.
Do that for our audience.
Okay. So one of the things that I implemented for myself as to bring my company forward a bit with, together with the mentoring of young people, is to offer online training courses. And I have so far done 2 courses, one in Word, one in PowerPoint. The Excel one's coming up in August.
Okay.
First week of August, I believe. That should be on my website because I updated it the other day. So I'm offering online taster courses. So if you want to know a little bit about Excel or a little bit about Word, you can come on to those sessions and have a go. If you want to do a one-to-one and I can show you what you need to do, we can do that. If you want to talk to me, and I'll put my consultant hat on as to say, what should I do? What if I wanted to offer training for my company? What do I do, Sharon? Can we talk about that? we can talk about that.
And
excellent.
you can also look at their infrastructure and look about implementing change as well, if that is necessary.
Yeah. If you ask me, if you ask me to do that, you need to be aware that I am. Don't be mistaken by this lovely, gorgeous face here. I'm not easy. If you want me to set you straight, I will set you straight as to a structure that you could. It's not difficult. It isn't difficult when you know how. It isn't difficult. You just need to have the right mindset and think long term. I've got all these documents, all these Excel spreadsheets that I need to save. If I need to find it quickly, someone says to me, "Where's that spreadsheet you created last year on the figures that we were talking about?" What spreadsheet?
Yeah, exactly. Especially for your accounting and so on at the end of the year.
Yes, absolutely.
Have those documents to hand and
most definitely. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That was one thing that someone said recently that I had to pick up on, was that if you get an expert to do what they do, the way to look at it is, if you spend £50, if your work is worth £50 an hour, and you spend 5 hours trying to do something that an expert can spend 1 hour to correct the right place, you are saving money. So don't think, don't think that you are actually going to, wasting money because an expert has charged you for their experience, their qualification, their knowledge, and their time. You've got those 4 things, and that person is asking you, well, this is what my rate is. You are going to save yourself money the bigger you are in business, because your time is valuable. You need someone like yourself to actually do the things for you so that you can get on with other things.
And to push your business forward as well.
And
so,
it works both ways.
That you need to do and to forward. So, yes, everybody, we will obviously have those details for you in regard to what Sharon's spoken about this evening. But I would like to bring it back because, again, I'm not letting you get away. The mentoring side. Now, I'd like to talk more about that. You said to give back. Your knowledge and share the knowledge with people.
Right.
Tell me a bit more about that, please.
Right. So, as I said, I have a young man who's he finished his course last Friday. There's one element that we need to do. We need to do the last assessment, and I'm going to do that with him, and he will submit that. And so far, he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's on course to get a nice certificate at the end of it.
Brilliant.
Because he's had me. The course was 5 days. He had me every day. Though I was working, he still had contact with me every day, and we had a call pretty much every evening after his session finished to go over what his tutor went over with him, to explain what he wasn't sure about, if he was going in the right road, going down the right track, as it were. So we had that, and that is what I will do for my students when I mentor them.
Okay. And what will happen after? Will you then they'll have a certificate?
They'll have a certificate. Yeah, they'll have a certificate, and I'm in talks with some job agencies to find them a junior role.
That's fine.
As what IT trainer, yes, would be ideal. If not, as I said, because it's in IT, they could actually probably branch off into service desk, first line service desk. Yeah, but it's very important as I think as a service desk technician to understand the product that you are trying to help someone on. Too many times I've been in a law firm, and I've sat on the service desk and listened to what they're telling people of how to fix a very simple fix in a Word or Excel document. And it was not correct.
Right.
Because they didn't know the product. They know the back end fix, but they don't know how the front end works. They have no idea how a user is using it. So that is where I made a bridge with my IT training and the help knowledge. I put them together because they have to go together.
Yeah, indeed. Because obviously you need to, even in business, as much as you say, right, okay, we've got these systems here, that can do my accounting, this can look after, my letter, my correspondence.
Yes.
You still
Yeah.
need to know how to use it. I think
Yeah, just basic knowledge. Just basic. Yeah.
I think we take it for granted and think, yes, we know how to use Word, we know how to use Excel, but you know, are we using it, especially for business? Are we using it effectively?
Right, that's absolutely true.
Long run.
Yes, that's true. And one of the things that years ago that someone, I think they, when I was a group of trainers in a law firm, they brought us a little photo, and it said on there, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So though some people believe that they know what they know, however, they don't know what they don't know until someone shows them what they don't know.
Yeah, indeed.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it onto web design.
Oh dear. Okay.
The other arm,
because your tentacles all over the place.
Okay.
In terms of web design, because I'm aware we are building our website, and one of the things about building a website is you have to communicate with the people who are building it for you.
The person,
the person, right?
100%.
And there has to be a relationship.
Yep.
Yeah, because your idea is only as good as the person you're working with understanding of you and what your end goal represents.
Yes.
Have you found difficulty in terms of working with people, creating websites, and then, you know, there is a miscommunication or anything at all like that?
Or even a perception, you know, like, I'm starting my business, I need a website now.
Yeah, I'm doing the egg farm business, here you go, buy it. And then, according to what they were thinking.
Yeah. There is a lot at the beginning. Some people think it's probably like a PowerPoint presentation. You can sling it together in an hour or two, and then you'll be good to go. However, just because I will help you to design your website, and that's the first thing I think of, I don't necessarily think that I'm going to win that business.
Right.
It's not about that, because it may be that we just don't click, or you're not, listening to the information that I'm giving, etc., etc. So one of the things that I do is I always have at least 3 meetings with someone and talk about what is it, yes, what your business is, but what colors do you like, what do you want it, where do you want it to go, what made you start it, some of the questions that you asked me, because it gives me an insight into you as a person. So I get that kind of relationship going, and it's worked so far. It has worked so far.
And how long have you been doing the website? Has it been as long as you've been doing the IT, or?
Probably about 20 years, on and off.
Wow.
On and off. I learned HTML language. It was it was painful. So
wow. You can physically build the website from scratch.
I did, from that scratch, but it was quite painful. So then I did front page and all those ones, and then a couple of people came to me. They say, well, I've used one of the freebie ones, Wix or whatever out there, and I create my website, but I don't know how to use it. It's really hard and difficult. And what is that? So I thought, okay, let me give you a hand. So I helped someone with theirs, walk them through it, talk them through it. There's no fee at that time. I said, okay, let me give you a few pointers, which I did, and that was it. And then someone else said, well, I've created this website, or somebody else did it, and it's not really doing what I want it to do. Could you have a look at it, please? Okay. So I had a look at it, made some changes, and that was it. And then I thought, okay, there's quite a few. I thought, okay, this has happened a few times. Let me just check out those freebie, easy, GoDaddy, easy to create websites out there and see how easy they are.
Right.
Not for the person who doesn't have the time or the, to say, I'm going to, it isn't. And what I did find, I've used quite a few, they're all fundamentally the same. Their interface just looks different.
Right. Okay.
So but the back end of it was pretty much the same. Yes, they are drag and drop. You've got a photo, you want to put that, there's your logo, put on, that's okay. But what I thought was, I'm going to get in behind it and see what's going on, and I'll learn the easiest way for you to do this. I'll show you, my client, and then there's your website, off you go, you can maintain it yourself.
Right.
I don't necessarily have to be the one that maintains the site for you. I'll consult with you and explain, this is the best one for you. What do you want to do? Is it a shop? Is it this? Is it that? And then I'll say, okay, I recommend these. Take your pick. Once you've chosen it, let me know.
Yeah.
I will help you. We can work on it together to create the site that you want. And then I'll show you some other little bits that I found that will help you. There you go, off you go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really good. But invariably you find that people want websites and they get their website and they don't think about it because it's run successfully. Until something goes wrong, they have no idea about
no idea. No. No.
Scramble is trying to find somebody then to have a look at that for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And some people will know one and some people don't know the other. So
yeah, absolutely. I remember someone asked me, it was through a friend of a friend, they'd got a website that was how can I say, it was an adult website, and they needed some changes, but they couldn't. The person who created it, I don't know where they'd gone to, so they asked me if I could update it. So that was twofold. It was learning what the language and interpreting it and what was going on behind the website, and then updating it for that person. So they wanted to add like another payment card on it. They had to add security on it, so I had to learn that as well as do it, and he was very happy at the end of it.
So you do bespoke as well as the template ones as well?
I have done the bespoke ones. I try and steer away from those ones because HTML and the language is just awful.
I suppose it takes with that, and obviously getting the wishes of somebody and trying to get them onto that website.
Absolutely. Yes, yeah, but I can read the language. If someone throws a website at me, I can pretty much work out what all the language is and what it means. Your header tags and your end tags and all that. Yeah, I can work that one out.
So would you recommend to people that they get, not only if they're getting a website, but they get to know the language, they get to understand it so that they can, to a little bit, take care of things?
A little bit, yes. Yeah, just basic knowledge is always good, always.
Or have somebody like yourself that will obviously build it for them.
Yeah.
And still to learn as well.
The basic, the things to look out for, because there are certain codes that you put in the background in the coding language that you need to know where to put them so it will behave, the website will behave correctly. And if you put it in the wrong place, it's just going to mess it all up. So you need to know that. Yeah.
So again, as a business, that it is that you come with the whole package in terms of the infrastructure side of someone really looking at the IT.
I'm thinking about you providing training for people who want to start building their website.
Okay.
Take that in the group. Because what we want to do is be able to empower people.
Yes, definitely. I'm definitely up for that. Let's do it.
Because what we don't want is for us to be just known as Black Business Recommendation, and we are promoting Black businesses without empowering the people.
Always training,
so in training,
networking,
in the whole spectrum. So when I'm listening to you, I'm always thinking, how do we utilize this woman's skill set to provide the empowerment for our community?
That's right.
I'm always thinking, so maybe we can discuss webinars or whatever that we can provide for our community.
Oh gosh, yeah. I would like to collaborate with you on all sorts of courses. Basic Word, Excel, web design, the language, OneDrive. I had someone ask me the other day, how do you use Outlook?
Okay.
I said, which Outlook?
Yes.
So she said, Do we need to talk, Hugh, about anything? And it was the basic knowledge I gave her.
Yeah.
She was so happy. And I thought, my gosh, there's still people out there that need to know this.
Well, exactly.
There's one next to you at the moment.
Exactly.
You know, the truth is, I get so flustered by the amount of emails that people can access me. Yeah, I'm old school. One email, call me done. But then I realized that my first original email was those ones that are not appropriate.
Oh,
right?
That's why.
And things, those don't work. So you need to have proper emails, and you need to, as you say, correctly find the place in which where you put your information and
for your business.
Yeah. So it's really about organizing self.
Absolutely, most definitely.
And infrastructure.
For those who are already in business.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'm listening tentatively, but you know what? It's painful because it took me a long while to realize that you have to set your standards by how you work with people.
Yeah.
And if you can't organize yourself, how are you going to help people? Because as you rightly say, if someone asks me for something right now, I say,
she can do it.
Exactly. But that's, isn't it? It's about your business, knowing your business, what you want to do to everyone.
Yeah. Where you're going.
Where you're going. But once
Absolutely.
you started that business, it's all the paperwork, it's all the emails. It's all well and good, as you just said, chucking it all in one email or whatever. When you come to want to find something, that's the basis
it's
of your
monstrous
building.
because you're under pressure right there and then. You can't find it. You just go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Structure it. Yeah.
And you are structured. Your infrastructure is in a certain way. And I think,
even in your Outlook emails, if you see my structure, subfolders, folders, things go in the right place. If you ask me, where's that email on such and such? There.
Yeah.
Where's that email on so and so? There. You have to.
That is where your administration processes has to be up to date. Now,
absolutely.
I am still learning, but I take Wednesday as the day in which we would do the administration stuff, where we would sit down and talk. We spend, we try to spend an hour in the mornings just talking about what we need to do.
Yes.
And,
good idea.
And for me, my head is always spinning 1,000 miles an hour. You tell me something, I've said, yep, I've understood, but I've moved on to other things. You might come back and ask me, can you do that? And I'm thinking, what? Well, because I've gone past it. So I need to slow down and concentrate on the things that I need to do, the back end stuff. It's no point being, the person who's got the ideas, but if you haven't slowed down enough to get the back end stuff sorted out.
Take stock. Slow down and take stock.
So within that, Sharon, obviously, with businesses again, obviously dealt with HR systems. Now I know people are going to be thinking, that don't have nothing to do with me. But it does. No, maybe I'm perhaps assuming because some businesses are smaller. One or two employees, but it is important to have even a HR kind of structure because obviously you've got staff. And you've got,
absolutely.
You've got to make payments and do
PDIs with them if they still do that. You know what I mean? So you have to have areas for those things. What do you think, or what do you suggest for small businesses as to what systems they should use for that kind of thing in terms of keeping information on their employees?
Basics. Excel's always great.
Okay.
Excel. If you.
I'm going to interrupt you there because I would never have thought Excel would be the place that the easiest place to go.
Really?
Honestly.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Is that because you use Excel? You do use Excel.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want a list of, you've got 10 employees. Well, no, let's go crazy. You've got, I don't know, 150 employees. You want their names somewhere. Names, first name, last name, email address, telephone number, home address. The easiest place to do it in Excel.
Right.
Name your list, name, address, phone number, put it all in Excel. If you want to sort, and then you can also put job roles in.
Right.
Okay, so if you want to sort it by job roles, you might have 3 people who are admin, 2 who are directors, somebody else who's on something else. You can sort in Excel. So you may have a list of 100, but you say, you know what, I'm looking for all of the directors or all of the admin staff. You search on that, it will sort it and find it for you.
Okay.
So because Excel's it's a package that you get when you have Office, it's free. You haven't got any extra outlay. So that's what I would say.
That's where your training comes in, to teach people how to understand it. Because I remember using Excel and then it making formulas and calculations, you know, when I'm doing things.
Yeah,
and
it can. Oh yeah, it can.
That's scary.
Yeah.
But, to understand those systems,
Yeah.
it's easier for yourself without having to go out there and pay. Because people, I always call them mum and pop's businesses, where it's just the 2 of us doing what we're doing, and we're working hard at it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're never going to employ 200 people.
At the moment.
But we're always going to look at developing our business and, you know, creating more jobs and more employment. So
absolutely. Even if you've got 10 people, I still and you want to keep it basic, it's just the 2 of you. Pop it in Excel. You can always find it, and everything can go in there. And you can use Excel to, as I said, to sort the data that you have, to look for specific data, to create formulas, to do things for you. It's easy. Excel's good like that, and that's the most basic. And I have to say, free. Yeah, you've already bought it. Application.
Yeah. See, there you go, people. You've got it right there. If you've got the package already and it you know, has Excel, you can use that to keep tabs or to keep the information safe and secure on your staff members. Even if it is 2 you've got, at least then that information is still to hand when you need to look at.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I keep having brainstorms every so often. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. A basic Excel course. Get some names together and I'll do it through here.
Wow. Okay. Hear that, everybody? That is wonderful, Sharon. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
So people, if you're watching, DM, I'm getting used to using
I
that.
don't like the DM.
No, but you got
DM.
Dr. Martins? What?
What is
Dr. Martins? No.
Message, right? Your emails that you want to be a part of that so that we can get in touch with you. Right? Or you can just say on the chat.
Or say on the chat.
I'd like to do that.
I'd like to do Excel training. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw something together. It's not gonna be a structure. I'll just show you some features of it that may you think, actually I could use that, or you want some more training. But let's do it. Let's do
What dare I say it? You've got 1 or 2 already.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously, as we said, you know, for businesses everywhere, we need
to have tools.
You've taught me so much this evening, because I'm thinking to use these systems, but there's always something that you can learn, okay? That's going to improve your business. That's going to improve the way how you store your information.
Absolutely. Most definitely.
Yeah. No,
you've got to make it easy at the end of the day. It's got to be easy for you at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to come back to the mentoring now. So,
okay.
I'm mentoring one person at the moment, which is
brilliant.
Is that something that you're looking to expand on?
Most definitely. Yeah. This is my first one, and I wanted to make sure that it's a learning thing for me, because I've never done it before. So yes, I want to get him, you know, through the exam and everything like that, and then do a lessons learnt afterwards. How, you know, what could I do better? Was that the best course for him? Would that be the best course for everyone? Stuff like that. So it's a learning, and I thank him for being my my little guinea pig. But he's gonna do me proud. But yeah, definitely. So give me some names.
Yeah, once he's gone through the training
and you've
done your review and everything, that's something that you can roll out. If you can let us know.
I will definitely, and I am looking for some more candidates.
Oh wow. Wow.
if
Everybody, you're being treated to this
Absolutely. And, you know,
getting your
please,
business
people,
infrastructure sorted.
yeah, remember that, you know,
Yeah.
we've done this because we know
Yeah.
that Sharon has many strings to her bow.
Yes.
And she's modest.
You're
Yeah.
too modest sometimes.
But the important thing is that we want you to utilize her skill set. And we, you know, people, we must understand one thing. We have professionals here who want to support us,
Indeed.
but you can't expect the professionals to support you for free. Yeah, there are times professionals will support you for free, but also remember, as I said earlier, that if someone as qualified as Sharon is, who wants to provide the level of support that you can get, if there's a fee for it, think of it this way: it's cheaper than you doing it by yourself.
Yes.
Because
Most
what will take
definitely.
you 20 hours to learn, she
The
will teach
consultant.
you in a day,
Yeah.
right?
Or
Or
be
a
able
couple
to
of
do it
hours.
for you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
At a
you
fee.
know, let us start respecting our values of each other and the businesses that represent us,
Yes.
because that's it. It's the values. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you know that, that's one of the things that I found, what I did when I went contracting, is that, yeah, you could command a decent salary, but if you didn't speak up and say, well, okay, I think I'm worth more than that, you will never get it. So one of the things I made it my business to do is that every time I changed contract, I got an increase in salary.
Right.
I
Yes.
negotiated that because I knew my worth.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's very important.
Yeah, it is. It is. It isn't always about money. It's about knowing your worth.
Absolutely.
And if you don't ask, you will not get.
Indeed.
Yeah. And you
And
know, you're absolutely right. But please, people, remember, just because the person's a brother or sister, don't mean that you get the brother or sister rate.
No.
Please stop that.
Yeah.
The person's a professional.
Yeah. We need to come away from
Right?
that and realise that
You need to negotiate,
yes.
but don't take it as face value that it's a brother or sister,
Yeah.
and so you're going to give the nudge brother and sister rate.
No,
Please.
not at
Yeah.
all.
Our relationship.
And value our worth. Value
definitely. Above everything.
Yes.
Above everything.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Oh no, that is wonderful, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Is
You're
there
welcome.
questions here for Sharon? I did mention if you'd like to ask any questions at all from her, or if you would like to join the Excel training, please put your name down here, and we will let Sharon know, and we will let you know when that will come on board.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone wants a Word or a PowerPoint one as well, that's, you know, they want a little taster of it, what it can do, we you know, we can always do that.
Right.
That's one off.
that would be brilliant.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I'm looking for something here, because I think that one of the things that we need to do as is to assure each other that how we work together is important and respectful, because one of the areas is that while you, Sharon, are very happy to support us, we also need to make sure that we support you. So people, please, if you do know of people who require Sharon's services, don't keep your mouth quiet.
Yeah, put it in here, let us know.
Please, let people know. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's SG Webcraft Limited.
Yeah. There is a website, sgwebcraft.co.uk.
Right, so I'm going to put that in there for everyone.
Up there, yeah.
www.sgwebcraft.co.uk.
.com's coming. I'm updating it at the moment.
Okay. All right.
.co.uk.
And Lorraine is just typing that into the group at the moment.
Yes, please. I hope that's it. Yeah. So hopefully, one will get that. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, brilliant.
Good.
Okay.
Thank
you.
That is wonderful, Sharon.
Thank you
very much for imparting.
Thank you.
The knowledge that you have. You know, it's been extensive. Thank you very much for spending this time with us.
I've enjoyed it.
Knowledge, making everybody aware of what they need to do. And it's all well and good looking at your products, your services, and getting out there and selling or providing your service. But you've also got to keep an eye on the back end, your infrastructure, and making sure that that is, you know, as organized as the rest of your business as well.
Definitely.
Very much so.
Yes, so no,
Definitely.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very
Lovely.
much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm going to introduce to next week's next week's guest. Next week's guest is Miss Jacqueline Brown. Now, her business is African fashion, and we're going to be talking about that. So we want for you, those of you who are considering
prints and so on.
prints
Well,
and so
want
on,
to know
African,
more information about prints, African prints, the fashion, how to access the materials, a little bit more about buying,
buying direct from Africa.
Africa.
She has an extensive experience of buying directly from Africa. She was a consultant for some of the big companies and has worked with big names. And what she wants to do is support us who are starting our own business to be able to go directly to Africa. Oh, and what she told me was that she actually carries out trips with people to go directly to sources in Africa to meet the sources. So those of you who are in business in the textile industry,
this will be
especially
one to
African
watch.
prints and so on,
indeed.
Guarantee get your notepads and pens.
Definitely get your
this is the one to watch.
as well.
We do this all the time. Those of you who sit down there and say, "Yeah, I'm going to watch this," and then
scramble for the notepad and pen.
Bring out your notepads and pens immediately before the session, and please put your notifications on.
Yes,
on.
Important.
Yeah, if you want to catch us on every Monday at 8 o'clock, do put your note. I've just not too long learned that as well. Okay, so the things that you are, you put your notifications on, and then you will get notified when we are live.
We're going live.
But once again, Sharon, thank you so much, my dear. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me on.
And we'll definitely get the numbers over to you and people's names as to who will want to take part. All right?
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you again, my dear.
Take care. Bye.
And see you next week. Thank you so much, all.
Take care.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.